Australia actually made me broke. I'd never not had money in my entire life, but this country made me look at my account balance like, what do you mean minus? One thing I'm going to tell you is if you're going to move to Australia on whatever type of visa, whatever, I don't care what it is, you need to educate yourself. It is not all glam and glee. Oh, I'm going to go to Australia on a student visa, my life is going to be perfect. You're joking. I literally came to Australia because parents wanted me to come here to study.
Oh, okay.
So there wasn't a lot of thought into what is this country? What am I going there to study? Hell, I even chose my university because it sounded good.
What uni was that?
University of Newcastle, because of
That's
Like a castle on a hill.
when people ask you what uni you're in, I'll just say University of Newcastle.
to see people just random people that you haven't spoken to. You don't even remember who they are. Just drop in and go like, oh, my house is flooded. Oh, my mom is sick. Oh, some random thing, and I need money, right? And you were thinking, I need money for rent. I need money for fees. I need
Tuition.
Yeah, tuition, yeah.
Like, my mantra in life is, no matter what it is, if you came to me for financial help, I would never say no. That's just me. Even if I didn't have, I would have to ask someone to give me so I can give you. I may not be able to afford everything, but I have to give you something.
Yeah.
That's just the way I live my life.
I see you do your work, but your work should not be tied to the time, your muscle, because it's finite.
Mental health.
Some people go to work, get punched in the face, get
Exactly.
shouted
Yeah.
around, spat on, like
That was
all
me.
of that.
Oh
She's
my
been
God.
through that, and I'm like, no, that's not the type of life.
That's not it.
I've seen it. Like, you can make all the money and still not be happy. How do we support people in this scale if your mindset does not change?
Yeah.
If you're not feeding
Don't
yourself,
believe
I have to
you
read
can
every
do it.
single day.
Yeah.
Except I'm sick. Even if I'm sick, like we literally have to feed our mind,
Yeah.
learn
Reading,
because you
studying.
have to be deliberate about doing the things that
Oh.
will shape your life.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are really doing good. Hello everyone, this is the Yo Freeman channel, and today it's quick and hot.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
Today we have the most amazing couple with us. We have
Okay.
Noah and Tayo.
Tayo.
They are these great people. They are doing amazing stuff in Australia, and we are so privileged to have them on the channel. The part one of this video is on their channel, Noah and Tayo podcast. The link is down below. Go and watch it. I'm sure you'd enjoy it. So come along as we have chats on visa challenges, about relationships, about finances, everything, black tax.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
How are you going, guys?
Oh yeah,
Good,
brilliant.
good,
Absolutely. It's
I
great
mean-
to be here.
Absolutely.
chatting
Great
to
to
you.
have you here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
For me,
I really enjoyed the first episode.
we did as well.
We did. It was incredible and great to be here again. Let's crack it.
How long have you been in Australia? I'll start with you.
I moved to Australia in 2016. So let's do the math.
Almost a decade.
Nearly
Yeah.
a decade.
Whoa, congrats.
Been here a while.
I've been here.
They
Wow.
still tell you, go back home.
Yeah,
Go
people
back home.
freaking still tell me on TikTok to go back to my father's house. I'm like, well, why don't you come and send me back?
Yeah.
This is my home tea.
This is home now.
You're practically an Aussie now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing most people in Africa, most of our audience, our viewers,
Yeah.
would really want to know how you guys got here, what type of visas you guys are on,
Yeah.
and the kind of challenges that those visas present.
Yeah, we'd like to
Okay.
know.
Should I go first?
Yeah, ladies first.
Okay, ladies first. All right. So I moved to Australia on a student visa, proudly and fully sponsored by my parents. So that was really, really good for like a year. And then inflation came, and then it's like, ooh, you have to work. So just keeping it nice and brief. I would say challenges. Australia actually made me broke. I'd never not had money in my entire life, but this country made me look at my account balance like, what do you mean minus? So that tells you some of my challenges.
Yes, absolutely.
What about you, Noah?
Did Australia make me broke?
No, it didn't.
Or it broke you?
No, it didn't.
I'd say so. I came here on a student visa, kind of weird, but I came here in 2022, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
after she won a debate, right? So
Yeah, I won the debate.
So the
We'll go more
story,
into that.
just very quickly, like so I moved from the UK. I moved from Nigeria to the UK where I was just tired. I was like, there were so many things that I was working against my finances.
Principality.
So I was, inflation. Naira was like going down the hill, and I was getting promoted at work, but your buying power is like
money
going
don't add
down.
up.
The value of the currency is like not it. So I'm like, am I progressing or regressing? I'm like, yeah, it's time to jackpot. That's
jackpot.
So I moved to the UK on a master. Although I initially already applied to Australia, but like then I just like, okay, let's go to the UK for now. Went there. Then from there, I moved to Australia when my visa came out on the student visa. So yeah, that's great.
It looks like you've had a very good journey. Long but good. And
It's
you're
long.
here now.
It's been good, yeah.
That's excellent. Talking about your visas right
Yeah.
now, do you mind telling us what kind of visa you're on and what the journey has been
Yeah.
to get there?
Yeah. No, really great question. So when you think about one thing that I would share is if you want to move to Australia, whatever sort of visa you move on, you need to have knowledge about it. You need to be educated about it. So whatever your plan was, some people just have plans to come here, study, and go back to their country, to go into their business or whatnot.
Now, just to cut you,
Yeah.
can you look into the camera and warn them? I need you to repeat that because it's very profound.
Yeah.
Look into the camera and tell
Have a
them.
plan.
All right, cool. Let's go. 1, 2. All right. One thing I'm going to tell you is if you're going to move to Australia on whatever type of visa, whatever, I don't care what it is, you need to educate yourself. It is not all glam and glitz. Oh, I'm going to go to Australia on a student visa. My life is going to be perfect. You're joking. So you need to learn what the visa requires you to do. You need to learn what it's required of you to build a life in Australia if that's what you're wanting, to add value to the economy, if that's what you're wanting. But if you're simply wanting to breeze in and breeze out, then it's okay. You don't need to do any reading. Just come. Just go for it.
Yeah, you should take that
Excellent.
advice because how many years now? Almost 9-10 years. And that mistake actually costly.
Yeah, because it
Can
can, so for me, I literally came to Australia because parents wanted me to come here to study.
Oh, okay.
So there wasn't a lot of thought into what is this country? What am I going there to study? Hell, I even chose my university because it sounded good.
What uni was that?
University of Newcastle, because
Oh, it does sound good.
Like a castle on a hill. Like a
when
castle.
people ask you what uni you're in, I'll just say University of Newcastle.
Let's see.
Just imagine that.
Yeah.
So that was how much I didn't think about the journey.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, if you
But
move
to be
up.
fair, you were young too.
Yeah,
It was like
you were.
Yeah,
go
but
to
like-
Australia.
Yeah, I was young, but there were young people right now doing really great stuff. But it's just like so someone can learn that even if
Yeah.
your parents are sponsoring you, you kind of still need to go into the details of the things. So for me, came into the country, I somehow thought life was just going to happen by itself, which is
yeah.
another great mistake that a lot of people do. Nothing good happens to you by luck.
Yeah.
You would have to take charge.
Right.
You have to take the bull by the horn, the head, the eyes, the nose,
Everything.
everything takeable. Just take it. So moving here, studied, I chose a 1.5-year program.
Oh,
Okay.
That's how much knowledge
how
I
little-
didn't have.
Yeah.
That's how little knowledge I had. So I chose a 1.5-year visa, educate program. I didn't even know what that meant. Then I came into the country, it's like, oh, you're going to go back home. I'm like,
Exactly.
what do you mean go back home? Well, it's a 1.5-year visa. You don't qualify for a postgrad visa. Okay, problem one.
So you need a 2-year program
to
in order
study-
to be able to qualify.
For you to
Okay.
qualify for the postgrad,
Study, yeah.
you need to study for 2 years. Now you even need to be less than 35 with
Yeah.
the new
That's
immigration
also
that's
law.
what we
requirements
talk
now,
about.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, problem one. Okay, all right. Move to a 2-year visa. Okay, move to a 2-year program rather. So I moved into a 2-year program, which was even another terrible one because it wasn't going to qualify me for permanent residency.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
From frying pan to fire.
Yeah, so but I had to move 2 years first.
Yeah.
And then start to think. So I was doing MBA at that point in time and human resource management. So I saw my human resource management through. Then I decided, okay, if I want to build a life in Australia, I know I have a lot to give to this country. I know I have a lot of value to give to this country. They'd be losing an asset if I left. So I thought, okay, let's go into something that would grant me an opportunity to stay in the country.
Yeah.
So then I pivoted into a year. So for me, that was kind of like the journey of like student visa. Right now, because of the mistake that I made, it made my journey super long.
Much longer than
Nearly a
would.
decade in Australia, but I'm still not a permanent resident. Like I would be in the next couple of months.
That's good.
Thank you.
Congrats in advance.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it's also to say that obviously God does have his plan, but there are things that I could have done to prevent that mistake.
Yes.
And that came from a place of limited knowledge, not doing my
That was
research,
a profound statement.
Yeah.
and also leaving things to luck.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
What about you, Noah?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, my own journey was, I was just, as I said earlier, I was just sick of, Nigeria at that time. And then I moved to the UK for a master's. But I wanted to come to Australia because we had been dating for
Okay.
4 years. She
So
wouldn't
love
agree,
brought
but like,
you here. Love brought
I
you
wanted
here.
to come to Australia because
Yeah.
of our relationship.
yeah,
Oh, that's
because
so
of which is why in part one where we were talking about like how you came
Yeah,
to
how
Australia,
we're here. Yeah.
she was here. Never in my wildest dream thought about Australia,
Australia,
but
yeah.
I met her, so and we're like vibing. I'm like, wow, okay, but we didn't become a team for a while because I just didn't see myself coming to Australia, like from Nigeria, Australia. It's like anyway. So then I fast forward so many things in between, but I applied for Australia visa, but it was COVID. Border was
Shut down.
short,
Oh, yeah.
no movement. So basically, the visa was like I was just doing the student visa, studying in Nigeria online remotely. I'm
Yeah.
paying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was literally paying dollars.
Yeah.
To be in
Nigeria
Nigeria.
And we studying online.
remotely with the hope that okay, one day they will apply, they will approve my visa. So in that frustration, I was just like, okay, I'm tired of staying in Nigeria. Let me just try another master's. So I went to the UK.
Yeah.
I studied there 1 year. So along the line, they approved my visa in
Oh,
Australia.
okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
oh, great. So I came to Australia, and then so when I finished, I came initially May 2022. Then so she came to she came to London. Yeah, she came to the UK, and that was the first time we met. Like,
Ever.
This love is strong. though.
Yeah, that was the first time we met. So it was beautiful, and we were having that conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, I was like, you're gonna
Love the UK.
love the UK.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna move back. Are you gonna
And you're
move
like,
to
what?
the
This
UK?
gloomy weather.
Oh,
why?
This
I'm
gloomy
sorry.
weather.
She was like, UK road are small. There's no, look at the country. Everywhere is just like tight.
I'm
Like,
glad you stood
I'm
your
like,
ground.
she's like, you need to come to Australia. Australia is way
Exactly.
better. I'm
You need to
like,
come
better.
see.
I'm like, you're in London. How can you say Australia is better than I'd not really researched Australia like very
Very
deeply.
well.
I've
Yeah.
never been there.
That's
so-
the case for many people in
Yeah.
They don't
Africa.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't know.
Oh my God. So I was like, okay, when my student visa came, I'm like, I'm gonna come to Australia and see. Then we can decide, okay, which country, pros and cons, like do analysis and everything. Then I came to Australia, landed in Sydney, and after a week, I'm like,
I get it.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Like, okay. I met some of my friends, had a chat, just survey people,
Yeah.
see what's happening,
Yeah.
lifestyle, everything. I saw opportunity. I'm like, wow, okay. So yeah, you win the debate. I'm gonna come to Australia. And at the time as well, so considering that she had spent like 7 years already building a life in Australia, it's
Yeah.
irresponsible to just say,
It felt it wasn't fair to just leave
yeah,
everything.
leave all of that and just come to UK. But UK, I'm also still like temporal in a way. So
Yeah.
like, although she was still temporal as well here, but it didn't just make sense. It wasn't fair. It's a lot more for her to lose. All those things considered.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna let you win that one.
Well, I'm glad you made the right
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah, I mean it's the right decision,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it's been amazing.
Yeah.
But the visa journey has been a lot of challenges because
Yeah.
mentally I was done with the masters in the UK and like, oh, you know how you will feel like Yeah, this
The
is
relief of student
because
visa
then I
done.
was working 2 jobs, at the point 3 jobs plus master, so I was like stretched.
Crazy.
So like then finishing that masters was like a major like, oh God,
Breakthrough.
relief. So if I had to come here, it means that I have to do masters again.
Again, yeah.
Continue
Yeah.
that masters.
Yeah.
So I came here, chose that hard route, right? Didn't apply for postgraduate there in the UK. So I just kind of like went for that, that risk, like, okay, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
We had a conversation. So I was on a student visa here trying to get a job. That one, long
That
story.
is the
Yeah,
whole
that's
thing
the
on
whole
its
thing that we have
own.
to
Long
talk
story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
yeah.
as immigrants,
Yeah.
especially, I can't really talk for Asians or anything, because as African immigrants, when you are traveling from Africa, your respective country,
Yeah.
once you are at the airport, it's no longer just your luggage or your baggage that you are carrying. You are carrying the dreams of yourself, your family,
Yes.
and extended family, and your friends too. And
God help
in a
us.
long term,
Yeah.
we think we've had that
we've had
discussion
this
before. We
discussion.
think it puts a layer of pressure on you.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
How did that feel for you
For
too?
you to managing it, navigating it.
You go
Uh,
first.
For me, I would say it was a bit different because I'm the first of 4,
Oh,
and I've lost my dad for a
Yeah.
while, and pretty much that is my life basically.
Yeah.
oh.
Like just living under that pressure of, but I believe that there was a purpose for that
Yeah.
resilience and
Yeah.
all of that, and putting me in that position, because God does not give you what you cannot do.
That's right.
And in my journey, so many good things have happened to me because of the role that I play,
Okay.
right? So when we talk about the pressure of making sure you're taking care of people, things also come with that consideration through God. Like, yeah, I'm gonna bless
He's
this guy
supporting
because
people.
he's really supporting other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got 3 siblings that I have to take care of, my mom as well. They are not all working. I need to be there for them. So I would say in that instance, I'm used to it already.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It's just like balance, knowing that okay,
But
these are
is
the
there
things
a
that
point where it gets to you? Because obviously, people back home mostly care about the exchange rate. How much is the dollar to naira? How much is the dollar to cedi?
Yeah.
Not really your mental health or the kind of
Yeah.
racism or other stuff that you go through. Does
Yeah.
it get to you at a point?
yeah.
Not really.
I think I would say not really,
Yeah.
and this is why, because like I said, God just made that provision
Okay.
because of my situation, right? So that provision was there, and I'll say it even became easier for me, for my context, because if I did anything abroad, now I'm earning in dollars or euro or pounds,
Yep.
it's more meaningful when I send something back home. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
okay,
Substantial.
it's
Yeah.
substantial,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So there's no like pressure. Like I give what I can afford. We
Yeah.
discuss it. It's my life, so it's not like, oh, it's not like, oh yeah, there is you must do this, like,
Yeah.
and this is for my immediate family mostly. For my friends, it's like, yeah, occasional, yeah, this and that,
As
but you're not
required.
gonna put me on pressure, under pressure, like send me money, like that's not how we work.
Why?
I like something that you just said, that you do what you can. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's about
That's what
balance,
you can
right?
do. Yeah.
You can't put the whole world on your neck.
No,
You can't
it's
do
not
that.
sustainable.
Yeah.
You have your own life to figure out. You have your family to support. You
And
have
now there is a
children
kid, yeah.
to support now, right?
Yeah.
Or a child. But that's the point. It's about finding that balance
Balance,
for
yeah.
yourself and knowing that you can't solve everybody's problems at every time.
Yeah.
So you take on what you know you can take on.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we?
I think more generally speaking, before I share my views, I think pretty much what had a bit more pressure for people is because obviously there is dignity in supporting and helping
Yeah,
people who
absolutely.
genuinely need that help. And if you're kind of living in this sort of country, you are considered as privileged, even though it's very hard for you.
Yeah.
But people just generally consider, oh, you're abroad,
You're
so
automatically
rich. Yeah.
everything's going fine. Where it becomes tough is when people are not being considerate. Like sometimes people don't even ask you how you're doing,
Yes.
simply because you live in Australia.
Yeah.
And the first thing is, hey, I need help. I need
Yeah.
money. I would still indulge you, but I'm thinking, do you know what I'm going through?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, do you know if I'm okay? Like, if I'm fine right now? Like, when I was on a student visa, genuinely, I was broke.
Yeah.
I didn't have money. I would go to Coles and literally look at my bank account as I'm choosing. Okay, $2. All right.
Yeah.
Budget. Proper.
Okay, like you're counting. I knew there was 90-cent butter and 90-cent bread. That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah, it was that
broke I
bad, yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I
It
was
is.
that broke, but nobody knew back home that I was broke. That I
They
didn't
wouldn't
have
even
money.
believe it. That's the thing.
So from the little that I got, I would still like send, but it wasn't like I had to. I just wanted to.
Okay.
So like maybe my siblings, like I'm the first of 5. So my siblings would reach out to me. Thankfully, they were still being supported by my parent, like in terms of big expense, like tuition, because they went to private university. But like even my parent, like I would just for weekend just do this. But generally, the pressure comes when you feel like these people just, even when you don't have and you say you genuinely don't have, they don't believe you, and you also don't want to let them down. So I think generally it's like if you've got family abroad and you kind of have family like in the UK, Canada, it's just to cut them a bit of slack, like be considerate.
Yeah.
Ask them how they're doing genuinely.
Yep.
And also for people here as well, don't feel like you're like alpha and omega.
Yeah.
Help people.
Alpha and Omega is
Yeah, because sometimes people feel like, nah, I'm abroad. I'm
have
like the
to.
almighty.
Yeah.
Caught you. Do you think I'm catching money from the trees? I think that those things are not very kind. But I also kind of understand their perspective. But it's also that balance, like Noah said, like you need to be able to give people some support. Whatever you have, give. My mantra in life is no matter what it is, if you came to me for financial help, I would never say no. That's just me. Even if I didn't have, I would have to ask someone to give me so I can give you. I may not be able to afford everything, but I have to give you something.
yeah.
That's just the way I live my life. So I'm never I'm sorry, I cannot bring out those words.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
But
an
the
interesting
pressure
perspective.
Get
Yeah.
is not even from families, from friends,
Yes.
people that know you.
Yes,
They're
from
like,
friends,
oh,
yeah.
I'm going through this thing. Help me. Oh,
There are always new stories.
that
Yeah.
you get.
Like
I
friends that you
swallowed- I
haven't
swall-
even
I
spoken
swallowed
to in
cutlass.
ages.
I swallowed cutlass. So yeah, you need to say something.
Like friends you haven't even spoken to in
In ages,
ages.
yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
like
Yeah.
someone just drops in and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't even
I don't
remember
remember who you
you.
are.
Yeah.
But you just have to lean in and do what you can do. What about you guys? Like, how was that like for you?
It's been an interesting experience,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, just it was I mean, I knew this coming into abroad,
Okay.
but then to see it happen in real life is a whole new thing.
Wow.
To see people just random people that you haven't spoken to, you don't even
the
remember
long
who
way
they
up to
are,
the-
just
know
drop
them.
in and go like, oh, my house is flooded. Oh, my mom is sick. Oh, something, some random thing, and I need money, right? And you are thinking, I need money for rent. I need money
Yeah.
for fees. I need
Yeah.
Tuition.
Yeah,
What-
tuition.
what-
Yeah.
like-
you don't want to
And
know
for
about it.
you, it's
it's
a
quite interesting.
difficult time
is.
because you're
For
on a
us.
student visa.
Yeah, and you
Tough.
don't work
That's the
full-time.
toughest time
Yes.
because of the conditions of
Of the
Yeah,
visa.
and sometimes it gets to you. I'll just branch away from the couple, talk
Yeah.
to sort of an
Individual.
individual. Yeah, because like I was saying, the spending habit for men and women, it's a bit different. So coming from Africa as an African man, there is some sort of expectation, even from your friends, from your family, from your aunties, and all of that. So being in the position where I'm not working full time, I have to
Yeah.
work part time, and school full time. It gets to you at a point because your auntie probably bought Gary for you when you were going to high school, and now she's sick, and you don't really have money to support.
send it.
Yeah, that's pressure. It's that's what gets to me. But at the end of the day, like we are saying, the balance. You
It's
do
important.
what you can do. All right, guys. If you're enjoying this conversation, please like, subscribe, and leave a notification button so we can bring you more of this amazing, content,
Content,
amazing
yeah.
talks. I'd like to talk about how we connected.
Well, we
My wife and I, we are sort of a mindset people. We like mindset. Yeah, especially me, I read mindset books and I like to get into mindset stuff. So when we found you on TikTok, like one day, just scrolling in bed, scrolling, I found it. I'm like, nah, these guys, their energies, their mindset and
Thank
everything
you.
We love
aligns
it.
with our
We
goals.
love it so
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
guys have done exceptionally well for yourself with your businesses,
you.
with everything that you are trying to do for the African community. Congrats,
Thank you.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
So I'd like to ask you, how did you arrive at this great mindset, and how do you think most Africans in the diaspora can arrive at this mindset to want to do something good for them? So obviously, good is subjective, but most of us are stuck in jobs that we don't really want.
That's
Whether
right.
we want to talk about it or not talk about it,
It is truth.
is the truth.
Yeah.
How do we shift from that place to the place that we want to be?
Yeah.
You wanna go?
No, okay, I can go. So basically, I was reading a book the other day, and the book basically just spoke about the best way for you to be disciplined or responsible or to have a really, really strong mindset is to list out the life that you do not want and the things that you do not want to become.
Okay.
When you list out those things, this is the life that I do not want. These are the things that I do not want to do. This is the type of financial goals that I have for myself. You then work through what are the things that I need to do so these things don't happen.
Yeah.
For us, that's how we kind of think about it. We wanted a life generally where we would have financial freedom. And I feel like a lot of people don't even fully comprehend what that means. They think it's just like having like lots of money in the bank and all those things. For us, financial freedom is massive. It's also being in charge of our time.
Exactly.
Freedom at its core.
To be able to walk on a Monday morning with your husband or wife.
Yeah, deciding today I actually don't feel like working and I don't
Exactly.
have the pressure of, oh my God, I've just lost money. Right. So thinking about like where we are is we don't see impossibilities. We see, I'm an immigrant, so what? I'm Black, and so what? I don't see the system. I don't see the people. I see the things that I have to do. And we lead with value first. So we say to ourselves, if we're so equipped and have a lot of value to deliver, racism would bow. Whatever it is, whatever room we stepped into, we have to be respected. Not because you have to, but because you don't have a choice. You won't have a choice than to respect these people, because I'm telling you a lot. I'm giving you value. And we also want people to meet us and not go the same way.
Yeah.
So I want to give to people. So when you meet me, as an example, I want you to feel more empowered. I want you to feel very confident in yourself, in your abilities, and even the abilities that you're yet to have, to feel like, oh my God, I can do just about anything. And that's what bettered the work that we do. Because like I mentioned, when I was on a student visa, I was working in care. I did a lot of job like in the health sector and all of those things. But it also reminded me of kind of like the life that I wouldn't want whenever I was done with a student visa, which was a life where I was chasing money, I was chasing shifts, I was chasing the hours. And that was tough. And no, I was, because we've been friends even before we started dating. He had like first-hand look into that life where I would be on FaceTime with him and I would be like dunking my food and like rushing to my 2 p.m. shift. And for him, that was concerning as well. Like, surely there's got to be a way. Surely there has to be a way. And, when you move into this country, you don't necessarily see people like you working in corporate.
Exactly.
Much less working in corporate tech. We wanted that to stop. And we wanted people to feel like it was possible for you, whatever career path that you decide. I mean, there is dignity in every job, like I keep saying. If that is exactly what you want to do, and that's the life that you've painted for yourself, then that's fine. But for us, is the people that have listed the life that they do not want. I want them to ensure and work towards not living that life that they do not want through upskilling, through education. And that's what Bethed Sinks gives. Where we support immigrants here in Australia to be able to upskill and learn no-code tech roles. If you want to become a project manager or a business analyst or a product owner, I say to you, give me 3 months of your time. Come and learn, and then we'll work with you through them. I also have a lived-in experience. I've done that. The same strategy that has worked for me is exactly what we replicate across board.
That is exciting.
Wonderful.
Very, very excited. And thank you for that. No,
Thank
what
you.
about you?
Ah, it's been a journey really because, like she said, she summed it up perfectly. But just to add to that, mine is from a place of pain. Like literally saw my dad lying lifeless, basically,
Hmm.
in a box, and it just gives you perspective on life. You know,
Yeah.
um, so my dad lived abroad for 15 years away from family
Okay.
Yeah.
because you know greener pasture, wanting the best life for family and all of that. But he suffered, he sacrificed his life,
Everything.
everything,
Yep.
joy, purpose, every single thing to be away from his family. But I still have that regret that you can see loneliness, that isolation, even though he's abroad, it, it's part of what actually made him sick a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
and
that's
Yeah.
make
possible.
Away from
because
family.
I read some book and loneliness can actually kill people.
No, it
It
does.
can,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
it's a
does. It
silent
does.
killer. Yeah.
So yeah, my dad, I would say, in retrospect, was lonely. Why? It's not if like in this country, if you don't have partner, wife,
Yeah,
No.
it's tough.
Just doing
Imagine
life by
living
yourself.
away from a family
yeah, it
for
is.
15 years. I'm not talking about extended family, immediate family.
Yeah.
So I had to be the dad, right? So, but basically, what I'm saying, the day where I left work, my dad was arriving, and it's not like I'm going to
Hug him.
joyously
Yeah.
hug him, but I'm going to receive a package of his remains.
Oh, that must be
It's the
hard.
most
Yeah.
Very tough.
heartbreaking,
Yeah.
horrific. The day I cried as an adult without being touched, like
Mhm.
you literally just, wow, this is real.
Yeah.
Okay, let's identify that this is truly him.
Him. Yeah.
And you're like, I wish he's not, but I wish he is. Like, seeing him there is
Yeah.
just like, so what is this life really? So, and then when I traveled to the UK, as I said, I saw some of my friends, they would come out from Amazon warehouse work and
Look out.
and cold and so
Work
tired,
hard.
very stressed, like, I don't know, like, some other type of job, like so stressful.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
nah, this is not the life for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was like, no, they were joking, you just stay at home. And I was privileged because I was working remote jobs and in IT, and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have any issue doing all of that. So basically, fast forward, coming years where, and Ataya said, looking at that from afar as well, I'm like, I don't want to live that type of life.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen things, I've put things in perspective. My dad died. Yes, he made some money, but the money,
At
what
what
did he, what
cost?
did he
Yeah,
leave?
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
The money was not, he wasn't rich.
So
It
that
was
kind of
just
shaped
survival.
your mentality,
Yeah.
your
Mentality,
mindset,
that
and everything.
there are 5 type of wealth. There's financial, there's your mental clarity, there's your health, which is very important,
Yep.
relationship, right? And I forgot the last one, but like most people in that, like in this country, we focus on
Just the money part.
But
money.
we don't even have it. That's the truth.
thing.
You know,
That's the sad
Yeah.
thing.
sometimes we just have to be humble and tell
Yeah.
ourselves the honest
Yeah,
truth.
we
Yeah.
don't.
We don't have it.
Yeah, look at how many hours people work.
Working.
To get what?
Couples, they don't see themselves. One is going for shift, one is coming back, one
Yeah.
is going. So people are chasing one type of wealth, financial. I have seen that I cannot afford to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The life we deliberately design is to say, I want to see you here. Everything. This is our life.
Yeah.
We put this, we work here, she works here. I see you. Do your work. But your work should not be tied to the time, your muscle, because it's finite.
The mental
right.
health.
Some people go to work, get punched in the face, get
Exactly.
shouted
Yeah,
around,
spat on.
spat on, like
That was
all
me.
of that.
Oh
She's
my
been
God.
through that. I'm like, no, that's not the type of life.
That's not it.
I've seen it. Like, you can make all the money and still not be happy. I don't want that type of thing. So basically, for me, that's the origin story
Yeah.
of
Mm.
why, we are deliberate about designing the type of life. And when we solved that, I started that back home. All my siblings,
Yeah.
they were working in IT in Nigeria.
With no
and,
prior background in tech
so I
or
trained
prior
them,
experience. Yeah.
showed them part, So my sister was trying to do microbiology. Like, you need to, when my dad died, I'm like, hey, reality, you've got to, she offered to drop out and start again. Started again IT, she was working at 200 level, got her internship job. She built her skills experience,
Get the
so
life.
solving my own problem first. Then through her as well, she became, I'm like, this is the person I'm going to marry, right? And I'm never going to be in a situation where she's going for shift or she's going,
Yeah.
the second day of our wedding,
Mm-hmm.
when I moved, that first time, when I moved, she had a call from her
Work.
job. Like,
Oh my God.
oh, sorry, somebody, I can't remember the command. Like,
And they always
wanted her
call
to
you
come.
during emergency hours.
Yeah,
When nobody wants to take their shift,
They-
that's
That's
when
when they
you are
call
They
you.
called.
want, I'm like, this is not it. This is not it.
This is not the life.
This is not the life. I don't want you away. I've seen that. My mom has suffered that. My dad has suffered that. And when we became the solution for that, seeing so many other people suffer the same thing, and that's the one better. Like, okay, actually, we can be the solution for all of these problems,
right.
not just in Australia. It's happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
UK, I've seen it. That we've helped so many people now become, and that's what fuels us. But again, how do we support people in this scale if your mindset does not change?
Yeah,
If you're not feeding
You don't
yourself,
believe
I have to
you
read
can do
every
it.
single day,
yeah.
except I'm sick. Even if I'm sick, like we literally have to feed our mind,
Yeah.
learn, read
Reading,
books, because you
studying.
have to be deliberate about doing
Yeah.
the things that
Oh.
will shape your life.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are really doing
Good
good. Yeah.
stuff.
Thank you.
Would you want to add something before?
Yeah. I mean, as I've said earlier on, you guys are doing inspiring work. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We are big fans of you. We always talking about Laura and Tyler. every time I see your email, I'm like, oh, it's Laura and Tyler. It's quite incredible just to see, like, you're literally creating change that is going to be lasting. That is going to, enhance the African
Impact
community,
generation.
their
Yeah.
generation. So it's quite wonderful to be a part of it and to actually see it actualize in real time. So we're very happy that you guys decided to come with us on this journey today.
Thank
and to
you.
just,
Share your
share your
experience.
Thank
It's
you.
been lovely
Yeah.
hearing it.
And we are hoping to do this again.
Yeah.
We have to.
We're
We
gonna
definitely have
Yeah.
to, but it's been
And I have a
absolute-
challenge. You have to do the Ghana Nigeria challenge.
Absolutely. Ghana
Yeah.
Jollof.
the Ghana
Jollof.
jollof and the Nigerian jollof. We have to do it.
All right, so let's.
Did we mention they are Nigerian?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
well,
did
so
it.
before we go, how do we pronounce CHURCH?
You go,
Church.
Ha!
church.
Church.
Coming down, which one is right?
Which one is it? Yeah, which one?
They're all right.
Yeah, yeah.
But which one do you
But I
say?
like it more when you stretch. You guys stretch it
Church.
like church. All right,
Love
thank
that.
you so much for staying with us.
Thank you
This
for
is the
having
Yo
us.
Freeman
Okay.
channel, and we are always excited to bring you something new. Stay with us, subscribe, put on your notification button.
Comments.
Comment here because there is a lot coming your way. See you soon.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
Bye, squad.